Hello, everyone. We want to take this opportunity to say thank you. As you grow at the Golden Boot, so do our needs, but we cannot do it without you. We ask that you continue to like our posts, share our content, and subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, and other social media platforms. You may also visit thegoldenboot.com for the latest merch. If you would like to make a financial donation, you can do so through Cash App at @GoldenBoot or through PayPal at paypal.me/goldenboot. We look forward to bringing you more laughs, knowledge, and entertainment. And again, thank you for your endless support. Sincerely and respectfully, the Golden Boot team.
The views and opinions expressed in the Golden Boot podcast are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Golden Boot podcast as a whole.
Y'all ready to get rolling? Quiet on the set. Welcome back to another edition of the Golden Boot. It's your boy Pooh Bear. I got Aunt Petty Murphy in the building. Got Daniel D. Williams in the building. And
we here.
We here.
We are here.
I'm here so I don't get fined, boss.
Pretty much. I ain't got no PTO.
Yeah. Let's cut straight to it. We got whooped.
Straight up. Point blank.
Offensive line, defensive line played horrible. We made too many mistakes. Play calling left a lot to be desired. We still had a chance though. Through it all.
Yeah. Turnover. Costly turnover.
Yeah. And I would say I don't think the offensive line played terribly.
Me neither.
I think
moments though.
Yeah, there were spots when they just made mental mistakes at big times in the game, but I think the defensive line was not up to par like they played all season. Yeah. I was disappointed in them for sure.
All right. Chris English says, "Let's go." Lucy B says, "Good evening, gentlemen." And then Chris English off the top rope. I think we all can kind of got sentiments on this. It says, I'm already tired of fair weather crybaby fans. Yesterday was horrible, but it doesn't take away from the great season we've had so far.
Yeah, I got attacked a little bit yesterday because I called out LSU fans for being more fickle than the coach in Cincinnati. That's in Wisconsin now, you know. But yeah, man, my thing is yesterday was embarrassing, disappointing, whatever adjective you want to use to describe it. I'm not disagreeing with that. You know, they got whooped. It was embarrassing. They didn't come to play, and they didn't deserve to win. But at the same time, there's only 2 teams in the SEC playing this weekend, and you're one of them. So I understand that you're not making the playoffs now, and you lost your shot at the playoffs, but that doesn't, like, yesterday's loss doesn't take away from what you did this season and what you accomplished, because nobody thought we would be SEC West. I mean, SEC West champions going to the SEC title game. So true, you can be upset that you missed the playoff, but calling the season a failure when you accomplished something you didn't even think was possible at the beginning of the season is not a failure.
I've been called a sunshine pumper before. Simply because I like to keep things in perspective. Look at the positive. Why I can criticize and understand the negatives or the bad things that have happened. I can still see the silver lining, there were some teams that lost yesterday, and this weekend period that probably should not have lost. Um, that probably when worse shape than us. I'm looking down the list of teams. Ole Miss got to be kicking themselves after they pretty much they start off 7-0, finish 8-4.
Yeah.
You got North Carolina, who they're also 9-3 like us, 6-2 in their conference. They're going to the championship game. They lost their last two. Then you got teams like Oregon, UCLA, Clemson. So, I mean,
I don't know, man.
Go ahead. I mean,
listen, I don't like the fair weather fan stuff. I don't. I do think some people are overacting, but for people to go out and say, "Well, they're fair weather fans," what the hell is a fair weather fan? What's a fair weather fan? If you're upset, go ahead.
I can tell you what a fair weather fan is because it's not so much about being upset. So let's not. I don't want that to be the narrative that we're saying. Oh, because you're upset, you're a fair weather fan. But when you go out and the first thing you say is, "F this team," this season is a wash. This season is over. We were, what was it? It was this season was a waste.
Such and such is trash. Whenever last week you were saying he should be invited to New York for the Heisman candidate, and now you're saying he suck a week later. Like that's fair weather, bro. Like
no, I get that.
He had a bad game to some people's standards, but you can't go from saying he should have been in New York for the Heisman to a week later saying that he sucks. Like it don't work like that. Like there's no way he sucks if he should have been in New York.
Right. I won't say, and I get that. That is fair weather. Yeah. I won't say that he sucked yesterday. I would never say that. I will say that
he could have played.
He could have played better. Just very inconsistent
on the team. Everybody could have played better. There wasn't one person on that team on that field yesterday where you say they couldn't have played better, or that they played a great game. Everybody
wasn't as bad.
I mean, you still had a kickoff out of bounds,
right? A couple of times, yeah. Look, I'll tell you like this too. If we didn't have, let's look at the season as a whole. If we didn't have Jaden on our team, we would be 6-6
or worse.
Worse. I mean, that's a good thing, and that's a bad thing. It's a good thing because we know that Jaden has the potential to be elite. Hopefully, he comes back next season.
That's just the way this roster was built, though.
No, 100%. But at the same time, I still am disappointed that our offense hasn't really just been consistent game after game after game. So that's where I can get like when people are probably aggravated about the offense being inconsistent and how our defense played yesterday, it was embarrassing.
Yeah, for sure.
And I completely
that's the biggest thing to me. The defense.
Yeah, completely agree. And no adjustments were made, bro.
Yep.
Yeah. When I went in Spaces last night,
this dude got 2 touchdowns.
It was Sanders.
No, that's Gainwell, man.
No, that was Sanders just scored 26.
Oh, that was Sanders?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And I get to that, Rev. So when I went in Spaces last night, I was hearing
nothing about no flu.
I was hearing the meltdown. I was hearing the meltdown. I was hearing all those we suck and the season's pissed away and this, that, and the other. And then I just kind of I put in perspectives like, hey, beginning of the season, we were told 7-5, 8-4. Some people said 9-3.
Mm-hmm.
Some people said 10-2.
Yeah.
And then we did hear some of the 12-0 talk, but we also heard from big media 6-6, 5-7.
Right.
We are a year ahead of schedule.
Yeah,
to a certain extent, yeah.
The way I look at, we are a year ahead of schedule. You've beaten in Coach Kelly's first season, not his full roster, or not his full roster. You've got a SEC West title. You've beaten who has been the big dog in the SEC.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, you've beaten everybody.
No,
outside of Texas.
You beat Alabama. That's the team that you couldn't beat. You know what I mean? You beat the
consistently.
But
you know what
you
I'm saying.
but you also went on the road and beat Auburn. You went on the road and beat Florida.
Yeah, but you lost to Tennessee at home, which was arguably your second biggest game of the year, and you wasn't even really close. It really wasn't
a
close.
close game.
Yeah, yeah. But so I think you're ahead of schedule as far as you're the SEC champ. Well, SEC West champ going into Atlanta for a chance to be the SEC champ. I don't think nobody really thought that would happen. I predicted 9-3. I just didn't think we would lose to Florida State and beat Alabama. You know what I mean? I kind of figured that we would win. Yeah, we'd had 3 SEC losses instead of just 2. So I guess you could say we're ahead of schedule in that sense. And having a shot at the playoff, we were ahead of schedule in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
But I think record-wise, we kind of right where I figured we would be. It's just that I didn't think we would have anything left to play for this weekend. And, I figured we just have a bowl game at this point and it'd be over. But having a shot at the SEC championship is ahead of schedule in that sense.
It seems crazy in my mind. We actually are playing. We have a chance to win the SEC title this weekend.
Yeah.
But I guess for me, it feels like watching that game yesterday, and of course, this is going to be a completely different game. I don't think the team is going to come out and play lethargic like they did last night. I don't think that's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I still am disappointed because we were right there, bro.
Yeah,
we were right there. Ohio State lost yesterday in an unbelievable fashion. You know what I'm saying? Nobody can say they saw that ass kicking coming. Okay, nobody say that. You're lying. You're lying. You cannot say that.
Ohio, I think the words were Ohio State. The only time they played the defense was Notre Dame, and they kind of struggled in that.
I told you Michigan was winning.
Michigan
you said it was winning, but you didn't say it was going to be an ass kicking.
We also said they went over under talented. They weren't going to lose by 14 or 21.
I told you that they had more talent on offense than you was giving them credit for.
Man. But Ohio State lost that game yesterday, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, okay.
Right now.
All right, but back to LSU.
I want to say this because he brought that up about the SEC championship. That's another thing that was said. That the SEC championship is watered down. It means nothing, and that us winning or making it to the SEC championship is not a benchmark now.
I disagree. I mean,
I think
I don't want to say I agree. I don't want to say I agree 100%, but this
is what the playoff has done to college football.
No, you're right. It's minimized it. I want a national championship, but I am excited that we do get the opportunity to compete and possibly win the SEC title. But honestly, getting into the playoffs, if we would have handled our business last night, it would have been a sweeter feeling. That's all I'm saying.
I understand your point, and obviously everybody wants the national championship. You know what I mean? But there's only 4 teams in the country that get a chance to do that. You know what I mean? And so if your consolation prize is being the SEC champion, then that's not watered down.
You still won the best conference.
You don't think Alabama? You don't think Alabama would want to be SEC champion? You know what I mean? I think that we as fans are we're kind of pouting a little bit because we're not making the playoffs, and we're kind of just pissing on everything that this team has left on the table.
No, and the fact that we lost, in the fashion to A&M, sucks.
Okay, check this out.
That sucks, bro.
It does suck. But you know what? In 2020, Florida lost to us because somebody threw a shoe.
So,
and they had a chance at the playoffs. They had a chance.
We were A&M.
We were A&M.
5 team.
We were A&M. Hold on, Daniel. We were A&M. We were the terrible team, and Florida was us. Florida was the team that had a chance to make the playoff. They lost to us because somebody threw a shoe, and you know what they did the next week? They went and gave Alabama hell and lost by 1 possession in the SEC championship game. Why we can't do that this week?
Yeah, I don't want a more victory, man. That's what you're playing for.
No, I'm not. What I'm saying is they lost the week before to a bad team.
And they lost again the following
week.
But
they lost. But what I'm saying is nobody thought they had a chance versus Alabama. Nobody thinks we have a chance. What I'm saying is you can go and play Totally different than you played the week before and be a totally different football team when you show up in Atlanta.
Chris put, he says, it's the fact we lost to a 4-17. We lost to a SEC team.
All right, now we lost to a 4-17.
Okay, we lost to a 4-17.
You still playing?
That's
true. It's a bad loss.
Let me ask you a question.
I mean, come on, man.
But all right, my thing.
That's sunshine pumping. That's sunshine pumping. Let me
ask you a question.
Yes.
Is Tennessee still one of the best teams in the country?
No, not without Hendon Hooker. They're not.
Okay, not without Hendon Hooker, but they lost to Vanderbilt. I'm not Vanderbilt. They lost to South Carolina with Hooker. He went down in the game, but they lost to him with Hooker.
Mm-hmm. This A&M team lost to Appalachian State.
Okay.
They lost to Mississippi State, Alabama, South Carolina, Ole Miss, Florida.
Yeah, they lost to Alabama. They lost to Alabama because they
played UMass in a close game.
They lost to Alabama because they couldn't get 2 yards. If they get 2 yards, they beat Alabama. Like, I understand their record is terrible, but that's the same A&M team that everybody was talking about was so talented at the beginning of the season.
Look, we have been saying, look out for their defense. Their defense is still good regardless of their record.
Guys, I get it, and I'm not
a bad loss, sure, but we're not finna sit up and act like we lost to Troy, like some people said, bro. This not the same thing, bro. It's not. They're SEC team.
I never said that. Did I say
you about
you said it?
No, I wasn't.
Okay, what you about to say then?
No, it wasn't. I'm saying that it's not that terrible of a thing. It's just the fact that we lost to a 4-17, who had a lot of players sitting on the damn bench, who didn't even have their starting quarterback of the season. We made him look elite.
But they got their better quarterback.
Come on,
he was the best quarterback on their roster, bro.
Hey, look, that's fine. I'm just saying, if y'all want to keep sunshine pumping,
I'm not sunshine pumping. It was a bad loss. I'm just being realistic about the team that you played. The team that you played was more talented than their record. It's okay to say that, dog.
Yeah,
it's a bad loss, but they're not 5-7.
I'm just calling what it is. It was a bad loss.
This is what pisses me off. This is what pissing me off. The whole, because you're saying, if you look at the bright side, you're sunshine pumping. If I look at the bright side and say, yeah, it's a bad loss, and it was better than what's called it. They played better than us last night. They're more talented than we gave them credit. Oh, you sunshine pumping.
They're more talented than their record, bro. Like, that's all I'm saying. Their record is terrible, but they're not 5-7 bad.
How do you get that the SEC is watered down now? How do you get that, it's a consolation prize. Oh, it's a moral victory if you say, hey, well, we can still win the SEC championship. No, you're still playing the number one freaking team in the country, and if you beat them, hey, you can beat the number one team in the country and at least say, hey, we still deserve to be there. We should have been there. We know what we can work on for next year.
At the end of the day, you overachieve. You overachieve what your season expectations was at the end of the year. I understand being disappointed because you didn't make the playoff. That's perfectly fine. But at the same time, you had to take a step back and look at the big picture. And the big picture is you weren't supposed to be here, and you still aren't supposed to be here. Nobody had you in Atlanta this weekend coming up. Nobody. So at the end of the day, it's disappointing that you lost and you aren't in the playoffs. Yeah, it's disappointing that you lost your shot at the playoffs. I totally agree. But you cannot piss on the rest of what this team has accomplished because you lost one game and lost your shot at the playoff.
I don't think you should piss.
I'm glad you're breaking up.
No, I don't think that you should. I don't think that you should actually piss on the fact that on the season as a whole. I think you can be upset with the performance, but not only that, I want the team to go in there and hopefully come out and not thinking, oh man, we're happy that we made it. No, go up in there and compete and try to win the game. Go up in there and compete and try to do the same thing A&M did to us last night. I'm not looking and hoping for no damn moral victory. I don't want to play Georgia tough. I want to win the SEC. What?
He's saying more victory because I compared
Because
us
we
to
made
that
it.
Florida team that lost by
Yes.
1 touchdown. That's
Right.
why he's saying more. But you're missing my whole point about that. What I'm saying, they lost to a bad team the week before and were a totally different team the following week. And that's what I'm saying. They lost their shot at the playoff, but they still showed up to play in the SEC championship game. They lost, but that's not the point. The point is LSU lost their shot at but they still have something to play for. They still going to show up and play in Atlanta. That's what I'm saying.
They better. I agree.
So Rev says, do y'all think they were looking ahead to Georgia and then pay attention to the details for this week?
Big facts. Everybody was.
Yep.
You can tell. Look how they came out.
Yep. I think A&M wanted it more, bro. Honestly,
they did. Who was it? Muhammad Shabazz, whatever his name is.
Both, no,
Muhammad Sanu, Musa Muhammad.
Stop, bro.
Well, you just Muhammad, every Muslim name you know.
It's possible, bro.
So
Musa Muhammad III had 2 great plays. He had 2 great plays where he just out-efforted Sage, and then
Sage was in great position.
A-Shane was breaking tackles all night, and I mean that's pure effort, bro. And he was
disrespect.
Dude was hobbling.
That man
hobbling.
Who Cassius Clay out there catching passes?
I mean, no disrespect at all, bro.
That man was out there hobbling back to the huddle. Then we'll go break 12 yards on the next carry against our defense, man.
Bro.
It was the straight effort,
tackling.
Bro.
Yeah, that's all it was.
But Brambo says SEC champions and Sugar Bowl champions. Let's go.
I'm with it. I want to play Tulane in the bowl game. Tulane or Kansas State. Them the 2 teams I want to play.
Yeah.
Tulane is not going to be the same with Fritz gone.
Yeah. Look, I mean,
I get what you're saying.
He might coach the bowl game. Since if they made it to a New Year's Six,
that's true. That's true. Scott Frost did it before.
Yeah, he might coach if they make it to a New Year's Six.
All right, so I've done the doom and gloom talk, but now
here you go.
Hold on, but now you do have an opportunity to where you can literally be at. It's kind of like the same situation with the 2018 LSU football team.
Right. So
it's a very similar situation.
They lost to A&M.
They did. Joseph Swallow said, "Nah, bro, it's a bad loss." We're not saying it wasn't, but you also have to. You can also put that in perspective and realize that it's a bad loss. We should not have lost. We had more talent than them. They are a very talented team. They had a defense that came in and was still a top 50 defense, if I'm not mistaken.
They got a good defense, and they came to play, bro. They came to play.
Joe, I'm with Joe on that one.
That's what
Kansas State.
I just said that.
I ain't hear you. I want Kansas State.
That's how I know you don't be listening, bro. I said I'm on Tulane or Kansas State.
Here we go. Mike. What's up, Mike? He came in from the HBCU hour.
Yeah, what's up, brother? Good to see you.
He says, I like LSU from Saban and Les Miles days, but Texas A&M $34 million payroll finally came to play, and they were the better team. Texas A&M was predicted to have a good year before things fell apart. I completely agree.
Yep.
But
I agree with this too.
A&M had nothing to lose. That's true.
It was their Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like that's what that was. They're not playing in a bowl game. Yep. They're not playing in anything. That was the last game of the season. That was senior night. That was the last game for a lot of those guys. Period. And so they gave it everything they had. LSU was looking to Georgia. They're looking at SEC championship game. They're looking at the playoffs. I'm pretty sure that they saw Ohio State lose earlier in the day. You know what I'm saying? They saw Clemson lose earlier in the day. And they were like, oh, okay, you know what I mean? We go ahead and take care of business. We got a layup for the playoffs. And then, that kind of sleptwalk in the show.
And then not only that, look how much momentum, Texas A&M has going into the offseason. Now Jimbo literally can carry their win.
We just saved him. Like I think I said this last night on the AYS post game show, kind of jokingly, but the more I think about it, the more true it might be. We might have just convinced Jimbo not to hire an offensive coordinator and keep calling plays.
Facts. He called his best game of the season.
Yeah, but that might be a good thing for LSU.
I don't think he did call his best game of the season. I think they executed.
I think he called his best game.
All they did was hand the ball off.
I mean, but it was the way they set it up, man. Like the way they set up the counters, then they hit with a backside counter off of that. You know, they did a good job.
They kept him guessing all night,
and then they did a good job of keep the quarterback getting him to where Harold Perkins and BJ couldn't just attack him. They was moving him off his spot and stuff like that. So he called a good game. But also on the other side, I think that was Matt House's worst game as a DC.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I honestly think the Tennessee game was better as a defense than that game was. Like play call wise, I think the Tennessee game, you know, we just got outmanned in the back, you know, the secondary. I think that game right there, we just got out schemed.
We did, because then, I mean, it looked like for the first time this season, I can say it looked like no adjustments were made.
Yeah, exactly.
Harold Perkins usually for a quarterback, he did, but at the same time, normally he spawned the quarterback. You know what I'm saying? That quarterback gets out the pocket, he gets to show his athleticism. And I didn't see that a lot last night, man. As far as him spawning.
I think we played ourselves in the fact that Wegman is not necessarily a mobile quarterback, a dual threat like that, and so they more or less had, instead of them having because what he usually do is like a delayed blitz. It's a spy. You don't see, you know what I'm saying, the running back don't go out, and then he like slowly eases up, and then boom, he answers. It's like they had him straight running.
Yeah,
running in, and the quarterback was going out the backside.
Just running, exactly.
They just used him as a pass rusher off the edge,
right?
Man. Yeah,
right.
And then not just that though, but I think the way our D line rotation, you know what I mean, the way
they cut up with us.
Well, the way Texas A&M was able to put together 6-minute drives almost every time they touched the ball. Like Daniel been saying, man, you don't rotate 3 D line all season, you know what I mean, all game. You don't see that. And last night, you know what I'm saying, we tried that. I mean, we ain't had no choice really, but
this is something else that everybody mentioned. Well, this is Mr. Perk. The other Joe Swallow says, I don't understand why Matt House kept going 6 in the box. Stack the box, make that boy throw.
Well, I mean, that's a good point, but he was making the throws though, bro.
Yeah, Muhammad was catching them babies.
I mean, like the first half, I think he had like 2 incompletions in the first half. Like, he was making the throws. I
got the first half stats if y'all want to pull them up.
I really don't even necessarily care to see him, man. I don't really want to relive this game more than I have to.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? We were getting popped. Players were getting hit like Alabama game.
The intensity.
Alabama game. I saw Bootsy and Lacey.
Oh yeah, Lacey got popped against Alabama.
Got popped, but they got up. You know, what I'm saying,
flex a muscle.
Went to the sideline, caught their breath, and came back in. Lacey got hit last night, and I was like,
that boy had noodle legs for a second.
Nah, hey, LSU last night looked like a finesse team. We did, bro. We looked like a finesse team.
We had no yak.
Yeah.
It's like you was literally catch the ball, get hit, and you down.
Yeah. I mean, credit to Texas A&M. Credit. Credit to Texas A&M defense, though, man. I mean, Durkin had a good game plan for him. I feel like they rattled JD early to kind of got him to where he felt like he couldn't stand in the pocket. You know what I mean? And he kind of felt the pressure and got out the pocket a little too quick sometimes. And I feel like we missed some throws. I mean, but you also had some drops early in the game on third downs and, you know, key situations that could have extended drives, especially early in the first quarter. So, I mean, I feel like the offense as a whole just wasn't clicking, man. You know, it was you would get something going, then you know, penalty, a key holding penalty. It seemed like every time JD scrambled for a first down, it got called back for a hold. So you just couldn't get nothing going offensively. And then, like Andrew said, that fumble, that was the backbreaker, man. Because even you had momentum on that drive and you was moving the ball. And if you go right there and score that, you know,
Emory probably would have scored on that play.
I don't know. It was a big hole, but I don't know if he would have scored. But he would have been a big play for sure. But my thing is, even if you don't score or get in, you know, have a big play right there, if you just keep them from scoring right there, they weren't moving the ball on us at that point, really. You know what I mean? Like we had kind of got into a group defensively, but then whenever they got that free 7, it kind of gave them confidence offensively because they had a lead at that point. They could kind of take them a little more chances. You know, they could do a little more things offensively because they had that cushion. And then we were playing from behind, and our offense really wasn't taking shots, and we weren't able to really move the ball throwing. And so that was the worst thing that could happen to us, to give them confidence and to make us try to be a pass-first offense when we couldn't do it. Because we had success running the ball earlier. Emory, Noah Kane, like we had success running the ball, even with JD5. But then after the fumble, it seemed like we started trying to drop back and be a more throwing offense, and that's kind of what got us out of sync.
I'm tell you what else bothered me is something you said early in the season. And every run play, it seems like, I mean, I know there were one or two that weren't. Every run play was a run pass RPO.
Mm-hmm.
Just
no kind of creativity.
Just hand the ball off.
Yeah.
3rd and 1, hand the ball off. Let's get this first.
I mean, if you look at what Texas A&M did, bro, like they were what 7 to 10 or something like that on 4th down. I mean, on 3rd down, pull up the stats, Pooh, if you don't mind. But they killed it on 3rd down, and because they was always in 3rd and shorts, and they kept running that same power play. They just had a couple of variations of it. They ran to the right side for a couple times for a 1st down, and then the next 3rd and short, they came backside off of it. When that DN crashed down, Ojulari crashed down, and A-Chain was able to get around him for another 1st down. Like that's
15.
Yeah, 10 or 15. Okay, 10 or 15. But then
it was 1-1 on 4th down.
That's crazy. So 11 or 16 on must get plays, and they got it. Like that's you can't win games like that, bro. And not whenever you going 4 of 11 on the other side. You know what I mean? Like that ain't gonna happen, bro. But they was able to convert because like Pooh said, they just dropped back and hand the ball off to their playmaker and said, "Give me 3 yards."
Right. I mean, then if you look at the efficiency, the passing, the rushing stats, the attempts, man, guys, we almost average 6 yards a pop.
That's what I'm saying.
Which is not bad. So I can't say that the offensive line played terrible. They played terrible in some certain spots of the game. You know what I'm saying? But what I don't like, guys, and I'm hoping, and look, I'm not trying to bash Jaden at all, but I'm hoping next season, man, we can raise that 5 yards per attempt. You know what I'm saying? Let's get that up, bro. That's all I want to see. If we can learn how to push the ball. I don't know if it's the offensive play calling, the scheme, something.
I don't think that's all on him, though.
I think it's a little bit.
I'm not saying.
No. I'm saying it's not all. But I get what you're saying. It's gonna be. I think it's threefold. He's gonna have to take more risks. People are gonna have to nut up, make them catches, take them hits. And we're gonna have to be better in play calling, more creative.
Yeah,
and the offensive line gonna have to give them time consistently.
Yeah, even on that Jeray Jenkins drop, Jeray was sitting in the end zone for a little minute.
Yeah, but that's the I haven't seen. Yeah, that's the thing. What was the read Jeray was?
Yeah, like, I don't know. They're right. I don't know that.
You know what I'm saying? Like people be open, but if you're the 4th read, that doesn't mean I'm supposed to throw it to you just because.
That is true.
You know what I mean? I got to go through my progressions and stuff. So I understand what everybody's saying.
Lacey hurt us too. Yeah. Those drops.
Yep. Key drops.
Were pivotal.
Somebody, I think Blake said it last night. Or somebody, it may be it was in spaces. I don't know. They starting to run together because of, why is it that you've got guys like Jack Bish, but was running that flat route play to Mason early in the season? You got players like Booty, Brian Thomas, Malik Neighbors, but you're running that route to Lacey.
I mean, I'm not going to try to.
I'm not saying. Listen,
Lacey been big for us at some times during the season, and he a big body receiver, so I like the matchup, and it's a perfect play design. Like he did everything right except catch the ball. Like he was open. That's why you give it to him, because he's open. He's a big body that could, that he can box out that defender on that little comeback route. That's why you give it to him, but he just got to make the play. And I mean, to be fair to Kyron Lacey, we've seen Booty, Jeray Jenkins, well, not Jure, but Booty, Neighbors, Brian Thomas, and all of them drop passes too, bro.
Yeah.
So this is
in pivotal spots.
Yeah, exactly, bro. So I can't.
Shit, Jure too.
Yeah.
So Brambo says defense came out and got 2 3-and-outs to start the second half. Defense bailed JD out versus Arkansas. JD was supposed to put the team on his back yesterday. So, all right.
Kind of did, bro. He got hurt doing it.
Yeah, this is kind of problematic because you saying this and it's kind of out of context. We all know that about the flu that was going around against Arkansas. Granted, it's not a full, you know what I'm saying, not an excuse. They all played. Yeah, I know you may not want to hear it, but it's the truth against Arkansas.
All right, but my thing,
because Harold Perkins
I ain't trying to interrupt you, Pooh. My bad.
Yeah, he did, but that's you know what I'm saying one.
But everybody ain't Harold Perkins, bro. I mean, we can't do that, bro.
And the same thing, I'm gonna tell you, like, because Chris said that one day too. I'm gonna say this. We all know illnesses affect and depend on the severity, because as we know with COVID, it hit people in different ways. Yep. The flu the same way. Well, the flu might hit you and you feel a little ill and you might be running nose.
Hey, Chauncey, don't come up in here, man.
He good. He good.
I know.
So
I know I'm being
he ain't trying to troll. But my thing about this is the defense came out. Basically, JD was supposed to put the team on his back.
They scored.
Like we gotta stop asking one man to save this team, time and time again, bro.
But also that man need to rely a little bit more on his team.
He does. He should have handed that ball off to Emory. I'll give you that. And there was times where he could have made throws that he didn't. But at the same time, dog, this team, Texas A&M, only scored 30 points against one other team this season, and it wasn't an FBS team. You know what I mean? Like, we need to be realistic about who we just let score 30-something points on us yesterday. And that's the defense got to look in the mirror and say, I'm not putting all the game on the defense at all, but, they have a big fault in why we lost this game yesterday. And so I don't want to sit up there and say JD was supposed to put the team on his back because everybody let everybody down yesterday.
But I want to point out, we scored, for the most part, like Ann said, when you score 24 points,
you should be there,
You should be in. You should beat pretty much everybody. We scored 24. We scored 23. It would have been 24. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't have won the extra point.
I don't know why you go for 2 though. Because you down 13, so you still got to score 2 touchdowns.
Analytics, because I think they said Brian Kelly explained it. Analytics say that teams down 13 actually have a higher success rate of coming back and winning.
All right, so check. I get that, but check this out. Check this out. You go for 2 there. You down 13, and you kick 2 field goals. You win the game. All right, check this out. You kick the field goal there. You kick the field goal again. You go for 2. You win the game. Either way it go, you got to kick 2 field goals and go for 2. So it doesn't matter when you do it. I don't know. I mean, I just don't like the play call like necessarily. That was. Like running your quarterback after he already been, kind of banged up is crazy.
That's facts, Johnson. Nobody wanted to tackle yesterday.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It looked like they had already, they was already in Atlanta. They was already at Magic City. You know what I'm saying?
Better not be at Magic City this weekend.
Nah, BK ain't going for that. If Orgeron was the coach, maybe.
Hey, somebody take Xavier keyboard.
Chill out, man.
That's messed up.
I'm trying to see what else we got. Yes, it was open, but the fumble. But if he fumbled, then what?
Guys, Jaden has been sacked 40 times this year. That's crazy.
Yeah, I put at least like 10 of those on him though.
Yeah,
that's fair.
At least 10 of those.
Yeah. Some people said, because there's a lot of people who said he should have handed off.
I agree, but I mean that one play.
It was a big play in the game. It was a momentum change.
Yeah, it was.
I also heard somebody say he actually made the right read. It just
I can see where it was a positive because Mason Taylor did get that guy late.
So it's not that. So also, I don't know if y'all realize what they were doing because we hit them with it when we were running RPO to or whatever. We were getting, saying if they stop their feet, you're supposed to keep it or hand it off. I forget the what's called. What they started doing instead of having one read man, they were blitzing. So he would have a read man, then he'd have another man coming, and so the read man may do what may give him the indication that hey, you should keep it, but then you got the blitz man coming.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Happened.
Yeah.
But Mason Taylor picked up the defensive end that was shooting down.
Yeah. So it's just like
it was just a late read.
Yeah, and I understand everybody saying hand out again. We can Monday morning quarterback.
Yeah, that happened fast, bro. It was bang play.
Yeah, so it's hard. But I can't. I have no qualms with him keeping it. I hate that he just didn't. That he fumbled. Yeah, no matter what. I can't even
say they gave up, bro. LSU lost that game before they came to play Saturday.
Hold on, I ain't even finished reading. Hold on, let's see. No matter what happened, LSU was still in the game after that fumble. Keep it real, they gave up. I think they gave up not after that fumble. I think they gave up.
I'm not gonna say those kids gave up.
I ain't gonna say gave. Okay. You're right. Gave up is probably the wrong word. I think what happened was the whole momentum and everything changed when they scored that touchdown, that one-handed touchdown or whatever with Muhammad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was at that point. It was like it was demoralizing.
I ain't gonna say they gave up though. That's kind of over the top to kind of. I think that's not a label that you just give out. You know what I mean? Without having some evidence behind it. But I do think that they were mentally looking forward to next week, and they didn't come to play with their
game. Yeah, that game was lost in preparation. That's what that's when the game was lost. Preparation and execution all week.
Yeah, that's the comment I was just about to bring up.
Defense won the game to clinch the West. Well, I'll say this in retrospect. Cool. That's fair. Offense won the game to put you in the position.
Yeah, offense beat Bama. And honestly, Jaden Daniels was probably majority of the reason why you beat Bama.
So yeah,
so you want to talk about him putting his team on his back? Go back to the Alabama game.
Because Joseph Swallow says thoughts on Sage Ryan.
Yeah, he was in the right position.
The ball didn't bounce his way.
Right. Yeah. The guy exactly.
That one-handed catch, you just got to tip your cap to the Muhammad.
That was incredible.
You got to tip your hat. He just made a play. Good players make good plays. But the other play, the ball just didn't bounce his way. If it bounces the other way and it falls to hit the turf, it's a good pass breakup. You know what I mean? It just is what it is, bro.
Bro, give it up, Rambo. Give it up. This team is a team effort. I understand. Okay, defense had a great game against Arkansas.
Yeah,
defense had a decent first half against Alabama. Second half was all over. So come on, man. Come on. If you want, I just want to know who you want to put in. What do you want to do? So, what else? I guess we can move forward and look at Georgia. Talk about Georgia.
Yeah, I think we match up pretty well with them. Honestly, I really believe we do.
My question is,
I'm honestly not looking forward to Georgia after what I saw yesterday. The way our run defense looked, the way our defensive line rotation looked against the run, and knowing that Georgia is probably going to try to exploit that is where I feel like we have an issue. Going into yesterday, I was confident that our defensive line could hold up. But after yesterday, they looked terrible. And I don't know. I feel like Georgia going to try to do the exact same thing Texas A&M did and use their big old line to push our defensive line around whenever they get tired. And it's going to be a long day trying to stop them.
Let me ask you, how many times has that happened this season, though?
How many teams have tried?
I don't know.
You've had a couple of teams that have tried.
Who?
Tennessee.
Tennessee ran on us.
Yeah, but also Tennessee, they had a lot of gimmicks in that scheme too. Getting the ball to the edges, as far as the wide receiver screens, a lot of things like that. There wasn't many teams that literally punched us in the mouth running the ball this season. It's
just
not.
happened yesterday though.
Tennessee.
It wasn't many teams.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. You have how many guys you got in the interior of your defensive line?
Not enough.
You got 3 guys that you rotate for the most part, right?
Yeah.
What game of the season is it for them? You're going in the 13th game of the season. Those guys are getting worn down week in and week out, bro. And now they just had 200 and something, well, almost 300 yards that ran on them last week. And now they finna place arguably the best offensive line in the SEC this week. And they finna had to defend another running game like that. It's not about what has happened the rest of the season up to this point. It's about what shape are these guys in. They're not at 100%. It's football. They're probably not even at 80%.
But
they're probably not even at 80%. We don't have the depth to rotate in and out like we need to.
Yeah, man. But you're basing our entire season off of one game from last week. You wasn't saying that last week.
Yeah, because
were you saying that last week?
No, because our defense UAB didn't try to run on us in the second half. They didn't try to run on us pretty much after the first quarter.
Because they couldn't. Because
they didn't try to.
Julian brought up Florida State. Actually, Florida State, I'm looking at it now, and I'll bring it up. I bring up Florida State. Florida State only had 139 rushing yards on us.
How many attempts they had, though?
They had 30 attempts.
Okay. 4 yards a carry, 4 yards an attempt.
They actually, literally, it looked like they had big runs in spots, but they weren't getting yards. Florida State way. It literally was Tennessee. Tennessee's the only other team that put up rushing.
Do they have defensive stats? They don't have defensive stats. Only offensive.
Yeah, they got defensive stats. What are you looking for? What you trying to find?
Look up the rushing yards we give up per game.
Rushing yards per game?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Tennessee and Florida both ran for over 200 on you, and then Texas A&M ran for 274 last night. Southern ran for 200 on you.
Did they really?
Yeah, they had 201 rushing yards against us, 4.8 yards per carry. Tennessee had 263, 5.4 yards a carry. Florida had 210, 6.4 yards a carry. And then Texas A&M 274, 5.5 yards a carry.
I also think a lot of that too was, let's look at who got those yards. I know a lot of it was Hendon Hooker in that Tennessee game. And Harold Perkins didn't play a lot.
You had 263 yards, bro. Hendon Hooker didn't have. You still gave, even if Hendon Hooker ran for 40 yards, you still gave up over 200 yards rushing.
Tennessee game.
My thing is we can't, man. I don't know. Y'all can't just sit up here and be like, oh, the defensive line played terrible last night, so all year they played terrible. No, they have not.
You don't think
it's good.
You don't think it's possible that our defensive line has gotten worn down?
Of course, every team has, bro.
So why you have 3 guys though? Other teams don't rotate 3 guys.
So are you saying
6 guys?
Let me ask you a question.
3.
So are you saying we don't have a chance?
I didn't say that. When did you hear me say that?
I'm asking you a question.
When did you hear me say we didn't have a chance?
I'm asking you a question.
Yes, we have a chance.
We have a chance. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Good.
All I said was I'm worried about Georgia based off what I saw yesterday from our run defense, because I'm worried our D-line has gotten worn down, and Georgia is going to try to exploit that and lean on their running game, is what I said. Nowhere in there did I say we didn't have a chance.
Our defense gives up 144 rushing yards per game.
Okay.
Yeah, but as far as Tennessee, Jared Small had 127 yards. Wright had 59. Hooker had 56. So, Small is where you got beat up.
Now, Florida, I'll give you that because Anthony Richardson had like 80-something yards rushing on you
on one play.
Yeah.
Did Florida hit 200 on us?
Yeah, they did. Florida hit 210.
Okay. And then 80 was on that one play.
Yeah. So
which, I mean, I don't agree, because that's been my point the entire season. But my thing is, you have talented players on the defensive line. Actually, in order for you to develop depth, you actually got to play those guys. You got to get them experience. You have
So
to.
who you think should be playing that's not playing? You want to play Tajee Hill?
Yeah,
He been
why
hurt,
not?
hadn't he? Been hurt, hadn't he?
You can play Bryce Langston.
Tajee Hill was hurt, which is why, if I'm not mistaken, that's why they put Fitzgerald West, move him from center back to D line for a short stint to give them.
That's
depth.
what I'm saying. You don't have the numbers, bro. And I know.
You actually you can play Jacobian a little bit more also. Jacobian ain't getting as much play.
Ain't he already part of the three?
He's part of the three, but as far as rep count, he's not getting as many reps. I'm just saying, if you're talking about guys are tired, they need breathers. You need to develop the talent that you actually have. You have guys, bro.
Those guys have to be doing their job in practice week in and week out, and those guys have to give the coach enough confidence to put them in the game in situations. Now you can't just blame the coaches for not playing people. We don't know if those guys are ready. We don't know what those guys have shown in practice. Those guys might be blocking dummies in practice. You know what I mean? Like, we don't know.
Yeah, it's yeah.
So I mean,
they've all been getting pushed around.
Yeah. I mean, that's true, but at the same time, it's like I trust our coaching staff, and I what they doing, what they see in practice, and to who to put in the game and who not to put in the game. I'm just worried that our depth has become an issue now at this point of the season.
So here's my thing about to back to the question about Georgia. I still think there is definitely a chance.
Yeah, for sure. The way they've been playing, for sure.
My biggest concern at this point is injuries, because we came out very banged up. Jaden is in a walking boot right now. It's probably
too many hits. He didn't need to.
You didn't need to go for 2 in that situation.
Yeah, he took way too many hits. He didn't need to.
We say that.
The only hit I'm upset about is the 2-point conversion, because that was on the net. That you shouldn't even went for 2 in that situation, in my opinion. So I feel like that was completely unnecessary.
Yeah. But I'm not gonna.
Josh Williams, is he healthy enough to play? That's another bit, because they said last night during the break. I was watching on my phone on the way back from the Classic, but they were saying that on the broadcast that Brian Kelly said that, depending on the circumstances, that he might play if it's I'm like, man, when you losing by 7 and you ain't really, got a spark in your offense, I thought maybe you bring him in and see if he can give you some kind of spark. But I don't know. It might have been a health thing. The reason why they didn't, they might not have been, risk that. But I don't know. Is he gonna be healthy enough to play? Because if he isn't out there, our offense looks different without him. Honestly, I know Emory ran the ball good yesterday, and Noah Kane ran the ball good the week before. But
I would say they had their best game. I mean, Emory had his best game of the season yesterday.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but at the same, but Josh Williams just gives you something else.
Yeah,
you know what I mean in the running game that we haven't seen without him.
And when Emory got popped, he didn't really come back in with the same
juice
kind of juice. So
yeah, I agree.
That's a good point, Bromfield.
I even D Payne, he brings up a good point too about the depth. I mean, it takes time.
Yeah, he said, BK gonna fix those depth issues. Trust. Bromfield said no Converse was huge. If we can't stop the run this weekend, we'll see the same results. UGA plays some complimentary football.
It's true. Hey, can we go back to this real quick?
Okay. Seems like depth has been hunting us since the Coach O era.
I just remember Coach O used to always Patrick Surtain and Mario Goodrich. You know what I mean? He missed out on them. And so he felt like he had to take a transfer cornerback, you know what I mean, to, feel that he missed out on. And so he processed the defensive lineman to make up for, you know what I mean? And so now you a D-line short that you could be depending on, you got, oh man, look, this dude right here. That's my coworker, bro. That's my coworker, bro. Man. He's crazy. But no, you got a defensive lineman from Live Oak, Louisiana, who going to Florida. You know what I mean? Because you processed the kid, and now you begging for D tackle, depth, and you processed one for a dude who ain't even on the team right now. You know what I mean? So it's just that kind of roster management from Coach O that got it. So that's a great point, man. And it's a lot of positions you could point at where you could have took a Louisiana kid, but you processed them, or you could have took a Mississippi kid, you processed them for a transfer, and now you're in this position.
Do y'all remember in 2017? Was it 2018? We played Mississippi State, and we were already short.
3 defensive linemen,
and Justin Thomas got a what they call targeting.
Yeah.
And so then we was down to like 2 people on the D line.
Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah.
Coach O got paid though.
Hey, still biting us in the butt 4 years later.
Yeah. Yeah, defensive line is definitely that's so when you look at all the guys that
if the defense doesn't win the Arkansas game, Bama would be the West champions, while LSU would be sitting at 8-4. If ifs was zips, we'd all be high.
Why were we?
If ifs were fifths, we'd all be drunk, bro. If my auntie she'd be my uncle. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. We could do this if game all day.
We don't need to do this if game all day. What's next?
Let's talk about everybody else who lost this weekend.
Yeah, hold on. Somebody did ask. Joe Swallow asked. He said transfer portal needs. I think it's way too early to
defensive line.
Defensive line. No, defensive line.
Yeah, you already got people entering it. A&M would have 5-6 guys today enter into the transfer program.
Yeah, I think they had 4. They had 3 today, and they got 4 overall. But I'd also kind of say secondary, because if you look at it, you're losing Converse, you're losing Fouché, you're probably losing Jay Ward. You know what I mean? You're probably losing you are losing Jay Ward. You know, we don't know about Greg Brooks, so you ain't really got a lot of depth back there. And if Gardner gone too, ain't it? Kobe and Richardson, what about them? I think they all gone.
Kobe Richardson gone. He
was entire.
So you missing, you losing everybody. So you gotta get some vets back there.
Yeah, you definitely got to.
And a return man.
Yeah. I think they fix it. There's a lot of talent out there.
I want a transfer portal return, man. I don't want to be relying on no true freshman. Nothing against any freshman coming in, but you know we've seen how important. And
what about a red shirt? What about a red shirt freshman?
I'll take that, depending on where they're coming from.
They already on your roster. They just hurt right now.
You talking about old boy from
Ibieta.
Mr. Perk, no.
Everybody gonna throw that. Are you gonna see that name 100? Especially if he actually hits the portal, you're gonna see that name everywhere. And all I'm gonna say is, Brian Kelly has shown that he will not tolerate people who could be a potential cancer to the locker room. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
All right. So other people that lost yesterday. Do we start with the game that highlighted today that started at 11 o'clock?
Sure, Mr. It was too easy.
It was.
Yeah, for Michigan, it was.
Hey, I can always count on my boy Pressure to let me know when I'm wrong.
Daniel, you was wrong about Deacon sitting wide open.
I don't think I was,
but I'd say this: you was wrong about Ohio State for sure.
I think we all were wrong about Ohio State in the Michigan game.
No.
I'm pretty sure y'all didn't see. So y'all telling me y'all saw that lopsided game?
I saw
you saw them dominating.
I saw them. I told you they were more physical than Ohio State, bro. And that they out dominated them last year.
Chauncey's in the chat. Chauncey, did I not say on your show on that Michigan was going to win? Yeah.
Y'all know why Ohio State lost the game, right? It was coaching. It wasn't because of the players. Man, it was coaching. Ryan Day is trash, bro.
Okay.
So y'all telling me that the first half of the game, the first second quarters, Ohio State wasn't doing whatever they wanted to do on offense.
I'm looking at
what they not.
The score at the end of the first quarter was 10-3. The score at the end of the first half was
17. Bro, I'm talking about the game. I'm not talking about the.
You just said the first half they was doing what they wanted to, right? So I'm telling you at the end of the what's called how close the game was.
You can't always look at the stats, bro. You can't
I know.
Always look at the stats,
I actually was watching the game though.
Okay, then.
And I'm telling you, the game was still close. Dylan,
what up, Dylan? What up, Dylan?
The game was still close in the first half, in the first quarter, first half.
It was
because Michigan was still playing bully ball.
And
man,
look, Michigan was establishing a run, and then whenever Ohio State came in, loaded up the box with the single high safety, they took them out over the top, bro.
Ohio State DBs are trash, bro. They're terrible.
You literally told us terrible. Last week. You literally said
you
last
came
Sunday
in
on this show
talking about how talented Ohio State.
They are talented.
And now you said I said trash.
I said that defensive backs.
Okay, but you also said that Michigan.
Their wide receiver core is still legit.
Hey,
their quarterback is still legit.
You remember whenever you went through that draft list and you was counting all them people
the
that
talented
they
players,
had
yes.
Yeah. How many of them was DBs? How many was DBs?
It wasn't too many of them.
Yes,
too many. Now it wasn't too many.
It was mostly on the offensive defensive line and the wide receiver position.
Oh man, stop it, bro.
I think you need to stop.
Bro.
Safety.
Stop it, bro.
DBs. Let me ask you a question.
So Lathan Ransom ain't in the top draft on none of them boys.
Big dog. In the first quarter, in the first half of the game.
I didn't ask you that.
Hold on.
I didn't ask you that.
I don't care what you're talking about. We're talking about the Michigan game.
Exactly. Because you're wrong. Because you're wrong.
No, I'm not wrong. How did Michigan get that two?
So
Lathan
Ransom ain't in the top of any draft boards.
Hey,
so that's what
I'm not saying he's not, bro.
You just said.
Hold on.
You're talking about one player, bro. That's other players in that secondary. Are there not? He can't make up for the other guys, can he? Or can he not?
I just want y'all to
the two touchdowns that were given up by Michigan early on were because of busted plays. They didn't respect their quarterback, did they not?
Hey, Daniel.
I don't. Because you're talking about one.
I don't care what you're talking about.
That's fine.
Because you said Ohio State was so talented that Michigan didn't have a chance, and they got their ass beat. They so talented, they got their ass beat.
Hey, I just want to point out that if you go to the goldenboot.com, Loud and Wrong shirts are on sale. If you buy any merch over $50, you can use promo code Stay Warm and get 15% off. We have a lot of things here, but
man, I'm glad you choose to promote. I'm glad you're doing this now.
I do want to point out that again, we do have Loud and Wrong shirts. We got them in purple, black, and it look good too. Gold. You know what I'm saying? I just want to throw that out there.
Should always promote every show.
Throw that out.
Great job.
Yeah.
Hey, but look, I'm wrong. That's fine. I'll be loud and wrong. I embrace the L, right? I was wrong. I embrace it. But y'all ain't gonna sit up here and say y'all act like.
You're trying to backhand compliment by saying,
because I saw things in the game that let me know that yes, Ohio State is still a talented team. Michigan yesterday just whooped their butt. I mean,
that's what we saying. We saying that we're not saying.
And also, Ryan Day is not that great of a play caller and coach.
Two things can be true, but what I do want you to know where you wrong. Talking about Michigan ain't talented.
I never said Michigan wasn't talented.
Michigan don't have any talent on the offense.
I never said that.
You did? You didn't? Do I need to
say they did not have as much talent as Ohio State?
Okay.
No, you said they weren't as talented as them.
Yeah. So
I just said that.
But they just beat their ass.
You just said they. I didn't say that.
So let me ask you this. Lathan Ransom was projected first round pick, right? This year, coming up 2023. And then Ja'Kalen Jackson and Jordan Hancock are both projected to go in the first and second rounds as cornerbacks for Ohio State. So you said that they didn't have talented DBs, but you based their talent last week off their draft positions. So now I just gave you hold on. I just gave you 3 top 2 draft pick projected DBs in their secondary. And you gonna sit up here and tell me that they secondary ain't talented?
They didn't play like it yesterday. Did they play like first round and second round draft picks yesterday?
You want to know
Did
why?
they?
They got whooped. That's why.
Mike Tyson said it best. Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth.
Exactly.
And that's what happened. They came
and
out.
I told you,
they scored.
And I don't want to hear no 45.
I told you.
Ryan Davis
I told you Michigan had talent on offense, and you didn't want to believe me because them boys ain't ranked in the draft.
But let me ask you a question.
Pull up them
Did you
stats.
see?
Pull up them stats.
Hold on.
How many passing yards? How many passing yards did JJ McCarthy have against those top 2 draft pick projected cornerbacks?
And did you see JJ McCarthy going off like he did yesterday? Did you see that last week? No, you didn't. You said if the running back was to play, Michigan would win. You said that. Did you not?
Didn't have to play.
You didn't say nothing about JJ.
I said they had talent on offense. He wasn't the only person on offense. I said they got receivers on offense. I said Ronnie Bell's name last week, bro. Come on, man.
They won that game because of JJ McCarthy yesterday.
Stop it, bro.
He threw it to himself.
Get out of here, bro.
Stop it, bro.
He threw it to himself.
Get out of here.
They won that game because they got talent. They won that game because they got talent.
They won that game because of coaching and JJ McCarthy.
Did
he throw the ball?
No, he didn't. Okay. He didn't. Does Jaden Daniels throw the ball to himself?
Nope.
No, he don't. But
we still win games. But we still win games because of Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels also your lead. He's also your lead in rusher.
Okay, then.
Hey, but hold on.
That boy, his feelings over there.
No, because man, y'all be crowd walking all day long. Like, come on,
we don't.
Be real.
Hey, your lips crested too. But hey,
and so is your hairline.
that boy, mad boy.
So is your hairline. Take that mic off your head.
Check this out. Here's the difference.
Quit playing.
Jaden Daniels, as Ant pointed out, is also your leading rusher. He makes different plays with his legs. McCarthy is not the leading rusher at all.
He balled yesterday.
He did.
And nobody saw that, bro.
Nothing from him. But let me look at these stats here. Let's pull them up.
Bro, y'all funny. Hey, when y'all wrong, I want y'all to come up in here like y'all.
Hey, I admitted when I was wrong.
Yeah.
I admitted when I was wrong. I'm gonna admit it in a few minutes when we talk about Notre Dame and USC.
So I just want to point this out. McCarthy, but look, Edwards had 216 yards rushing.
It wasn't even Blake Coleman even had to play. They had a backup running back. I didn't even know about who could do that. But I told you, Ohio State ain't physical enough for Michigan, dog.
Johnson
and they proved it the way they run the ball.
And 60 yards receiving. You can't
please
do not tell me McCarthy did it by himself.
On 4 catches.
Were those plays not bust though, bro?
On 4 catches.
Were they not bust?
No. Those the two long run plays were not bust.
We're not talking about runs. We're talking about passing, bro.
Oh, the passing. One of them was.
There was 2 of them that were.
One of them was complete, but one of them he made the man. He just made the man look bad.
Come on, Pooh. Hey, come on, Pooh. Stick to it.
You're not gonna get him. You're not gonna get him. I don't need no backup. I don't need no backup. So you ain't gonna say that the one of them, the receiver, just ran a good route and ran straight past the DB. No, like one of them was a bust. The other one, the receiver, you got to get the receiver credit for that one.
That was
so I give one of them was a bust completely, but they did what they were supposed to do with a bust. You know what I mean? They took advantage of it. But my thing, you was right. I did say Corum, Michigan needed Corum because I didn't know that they had this Edwards kid that was, gonna get 9 yards of carry against Ohio. But I knew that Michigan was too physical up front in the trenches on both sides of the ball, and that's what I was saying last week. And that's why I felt like they was gonna win the game. Because I don't care that they lost Hutchinson and that other boy. They still dominant up front. And Ohio State ain't played nobody with that kind of talent in the trenches. And that's what really happened. That's why they won the game.
This is what I want to point out. You see this here, interception Strongs too? Because if I'm not mistaken, I said if you put some pressure on Stroud, he gonna fold.
Stroud good, but he haven't.
He's good.
Every time. Last year, but look, what happened in the second half? What happened in the second half, Daniel?
When you get in his face,
but part of that was because of what Pooh's saying, the pressure. when Michigan took the lead, they turned up that pass rush. And Stroud wasn't the same dude. The same thing happened last year. Last year they let Aiden Hutchinson and the Jabo boy, they let them loose. And this year they let them other two guys that they got on their D-line loose. And they was getting pressure on him, and he wasn't the same guy. That's what I was telling you last week. Michigan gonna win because they're gonna win in the trenches.
Yeah. All right.
I get it.
We'll move on to
Stroud remind me of Justin Fields, though. He good whenever he got all day to throw.
Yeah, but not only that, he needed to learn how to use his legs too, because there was plays where he could have made some first downs, but he chose.
He ain't Justin Fields with the legs, but as far as I mean, like as a passer, you know what I mean. He looked like Justin Fields. Ohio State looked great. You know what I mean, because he had a clean pocket to throw and he had guys running wide open. But when it ain't like that, it break down.
Now to the other 11 o'clock game, that was caught some people by surprise.
DJ played terrible.
I guess lightning can strike twice. Spencer
Can
Rattler,
we say DJ is terrible?
Yeah, he was.
He hasn't been good all season.
He had his moment. He's had his moments, he wasn't good. This
kid is highly overrated.
He one of them up and down, but like his highs are high and his lows are like
99 yards low,
like Death Valley low, like.
Jeez.
But so Spencer Rattler had another game. He threw 2 interceptions early, but rallied back.
Yeah, he shook it off.
And
smoking a nice Cuban.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: if you Spencer Rattler, you go pro?
No.
Still don't go pro?
No. Well, I'm so I don't think I'm so tired.
That boy is ugly. Y'all seen the Rugrats Angelica's baby doll with the hair all over the place?
Stop. I'm trying to think. The same reason JD need to come back. Now JD, I think he'll get drafted. I think he could go possibly high. The problem is he needs to come back because it's a lot of it's saturated. QB draft is saturated this year.
There's still some things that he can improve on also.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah. Spencer Rattler. If you got an extra year, you might want to take him.
I'm with you. So. But next year we all know who's going first.
Who?
Yeah, Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
I think he also solidified the Heisman yesterday too.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Drake May. If Drake May play the way, just because he got more size on him. You know what I mean? Pause. You know what I mean? But like, I think when you're talking about NFL quarterbacks, that might be one thing that get him the advantage over Caleb. Have you seen Drake May play? He nice with it.
I haven't. Honestly, I haven't. I can't say
nice.
He reminds me of Josh Allen.
He was leading. He was leading the. I don't know. He might still be. But as whenever they played, he was leading the country in total touchdowns. Like, dude.
Yeah.
That boy went 23 for 26.
Oh, Pine for
Yeah,
he played good. Their defense failed them, believe it or not.
Caleb Williams went 18 of 22.
Yeah, I watched some.
But the Russian really would killed the man. He backbreaker first downs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he ran for 3 touchdowns.
Yep.
Yeah. And when he was running in, I kept seeing the highlights. He just walked looking at him, staring at that house, just like, man, so I wish somebody come out stands and hit him.
Did you see that? Did you see that play on third down where he scrambled back and then scrambled back around and scrambled through and kind of slid for a first down and then he sat up smiling like first down. Like, man, he's so cocky. He Johnny Manziel part 2 to me, dog. Like,
I like it.
He played like him and he got that little swag to him like Johnny Manziel.
Hey, USC gonna be nasty next year.
It depends on who they get in the portal.
Yeah,
because they probably
all they needed some defense.
They probably losing their receivers too, though.
Yeah, I don't think it's hard to get good players to come out to Southern Cal though.
No.
Who you gonna compete against? Get crazy stats,
I don't know. We'll see. Because I think that guy Arizona State just hired gonna get some guys to come to offensively.
I've missed all kinds of hires today. Let's touch on that for a minute. Hold on, wait. Is there another game we missed?
Mm.
Iron Bowl was the Iron Bowl. I put it like this.
The
Mississippi State beat No Miss.
we've kind of. I think the Iron Bowl, man. Auburn played like I thought they would. The referees kind of gave them a little screw job a little bit with the muff punt call and some other little things from what I saw. But I feel like Alabama ain't need no help from them in that game.
Ryan, he says, does Riley win Coach of the Year? No.
Yep.
Sonny Dykes.
Sonny Dykes, TCU.
Yeah. Politics.
Yeah, that's a good point. From what
Come
USC,
on, man.
from
West
what
Coast?
if you well, it ain't just that to me. I think that's a big part of it is West Coast, but I think they're gonna look at what the teams was the last year, and USC was 4-8, and now they're making the playoffs.
What was TCU?
I don't think they was 4-8 bad. Let me see.
TCU 2021 football record. They were.
Oh yeah, that was
5-7.
That was 5-7.
5-7. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But USC been down for forever though. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's part of it too.
Yeah.
And then it's just a hot thing, man.
I'm trying to think what else. You mentioned the Egg Bowl. Tough battle back and forth. Lane proved once again can't win a big one.
Yeah.
AYS says Venables DCOY. Dumbest coach of the year?
Nah, he say
Dookie coach of the year. I thought he was talking about that. I was like, what? That's funny.
But yeah, like I said, Egg Bowl.
Man, honestly, if we want to talk about coach of the year, my bad, Pooh. I think we should look at somebody like Lance Leopold, dog. At Kansas. Kansas won 2 games last year. They bowl eligible. Clark Lee, you know what I mean? Like Vandy almost bowl eligible. Even Shane Beamer, like South Carolina,
is a name.
South Carolina got 2 top 10 wins and they bowl eligible. Like I mean, like I think we should look at people like that, not just
we should, but that ain't gonna happen.
They
I know.
Yeah,
it's not sexy enough.
I mean, South Carolina 8-4, bro. Like
I'm trying. I'm trying to look and see because I'm sure there's a game that they could have won to get. They could have Arkansas. They could have pulled out the Arkansas game, Mizzou game.
Last year that was pretty good. So
they could have been a 10-win team.
I think you're right. I think it's out of the TCU coach and the USC coach. Because think about it. I mean, Caleb Williams wins the Heisman. You know what I'm saying? It's a good chance that they give him coach of the year.
Yeah, but to me, that's the reason why Sonny Dykes should get it.
You don't have a Heisman on your team. But
honestly, I don't even think Max Duggan gonna make it to New York.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
I think you're gonna have Caleb Williams. I think Blake Corum gonna make it because Michigan in the top 4.
And
I think Drake May gonna make it, and I think probably Bryce or CJ gonna make it. I don't think Max Duggan gonna make it.
Bryce ain't gonna make it this year.
I can see CJ, but I mean,
he ain't gonna win it, but he'll make it.
Yeah.
All right, but so there were a lot of coaching jobs that were supposedly filled. Some that are still open.
Best hire so far, in your opinion?
Best hire so far?
I think Wisconsin, Fickle.
That's a damn good hire. Yeah.
Yep, I didn't see that one coming.
Me neither. I never thought he was gonna leave Cincinnati unless it was Ohio State.
Yep.
I might say Freeze to Auburn.
Is it a done deal?
Not completely, but it's a done deal pretty much.
If it's a done deal, I love it. I've been hollering Hugh Freeze's name all season. I love Hugh Freeze.
Yeah, you're a little obsessed. You're a little obsessed with him, man. And then he say he loves him.
Come on. I think he's a great coach.
Yeah, I agree. I think honestly, I think both of them are great hires, and I think, but they both, Matt Rule to me, just because
Yeah,
I feel like Nebraska is a sleeping giant. And I feel like Wisconsin, we know what Wisconsin football can be. We've seen Wisconsin football in Big Ten championships and in playoff conversations. You know what I mean? Like we've seen Wisconsin. And I think Fickle just gonna take them back to their maybe a little bit over the top. But we haven't seen Nebraska good in 20-something years.
In a long time. But is Nebraska still a sleeping giant?
Yes, because you want to know one reason why? One reason
because of the money.
Bingo. That's all that matters these days, bro.
A lot of colleges have money.
Hold on, bro.
A lot of people don't have money like that.
They have money and they have buy-in, bro. The entire state, there is no other name the other the other division. Hold on, name the other Division I school in Nebraska. Don't worry, I'll wait.
You're right. They don't have, but they don't have the recruiting pipeline though.
They don't need it, bro. It's all about money now, bro. They can get transfers. Look at what Trey Palmer did up there in Nebraska. Look at what Trey Palmer did this year in Nebraska.
Hey, I do want to. I forgot this game, and Julian just brought it up. Arizona State versus Arizona, the fight with the mascots on the field. And he said, shout out to Mason Taylor brother for catching the game-winning interception to snap the 5-game losing streak to Arizona State.
Have y'all seen the trophy for that game?
No,
it's like a cactus kind of sword looking thing with like man. Look up the trophy for that game. That's a dope looking trophy. But back to Nebraska though. Like they got money. They've sold out every game for forever as long as I've been alive. You know what I mean? Like. They got buy-in and NIL money. And true enough, recruiting is going to be an issue because they don't have high school football like that, though, where they producing, top 300 players like that. But if you get transfers like Trey Palmer, if you get, you know what I mean? Like they got guys who can come in. The quarterback was a transfer. You know, they got guys who come in and play in the Big Ten. So you're still playing in the big conference, but you're playing in the Big Ten West, which is Wisconsin is really your only person. Wisconsin and Iowa, you beat them, you're in the Big Ten championship. So I feel like it's an easy path to the Big Ten championship, but at the same time, okay, my bad. But he said that's a turnover prop. It ain't the actual.
I was just gonna say I'm looking.
My bad. I just seen him holding it up, and I after he caught that interception, and it was at like the end of the game, so I thought that was the trophy that they got for that game. That's my fault. But
because I'm looking.
But I just feel like I'm not saying Nebraska gonna win that championship. I'm not saying that by any means. I just feel like Nebraska could be a team that's constantly like a Utah. You know what I mean? To where they right there in the conversation of spoiling Ohio State season in the championship game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
like
I think that like when I say they're a sleeper, that's what I mean to be in the conversation. I'm not saying they're gonna go win 5 natties in the next 15 years or nothing like that by any means. But I feel like they got the foundation to where if they get the right coaching there, they got the buy-in from their fans and stuff like that. They got Mickey, who they probably gonna keep, who gonna get talent out of Louisiana. It might not be the top tier talent, but it might be AJ Allen's who are gonna go somewhere else and explode. You know what I mean?
And be developed.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like, and they're gonna be 4-year guys. So when they seniors, they're gonna give somebody hell. You know what I mean? So that's why I feel like Nebraska could be a sleeping giant with the right guy. And if Rule can turn them around like he turned around Baylor before Aranda got that job, I think he'll be all right. The question is, can he sustain it? Because he's built Boston College and or Temple. I think it was Temple. And then yeah. And they put the footballs on. Man, that was dope. But because it had 3 footballs on there when I saw it. They must have had 3 turnovers that game. But if he turned around Temple and he turned around, I think it was Temple. It was either Temple or Boston College, and then Baylor. But he left after he turned them around like 2 years, and I'm out. So I just don't know if he can sustain it. But I like Hugh Freeze though. I think he's gonna give Saban hell.
I think so too. He's gonna get SEC hell.
And I think it's better for Auburn and Kiffin because I think he can actually beat Saban.
Yeah. We'll get more into the Kiffin.
Shit, he has beat Saban.
Exactly. But Arizona State hired Chris Boy, Kenny Dillingham.
Chris Dillingham, yeah, I did see that. Georgia Tech got Willie Terry got fired at Florida Atlantic. Also the Battle of I-4.
Yeah, that was a crazy game.
Crazy game. They were down. UCF was up like 39-19 or something like that, 39-10. USF came back, tied it up, and I think UCF scored on like a last minute kind of crazy play, a last second crazy play. So it was great. And they are a 1-10 team. So hey,
crazy.
Just one, it can happen. Yeah.
Willie Fritz to Georgia Tech.
That's what I was trying to get to before I got to get distracted.
Yeah.
Willie Fritz to Georgia Tech. With that, Tulane, Colorado, and USF have now entered the let's go get prime competition.
I would expect FAU to make that same pitch.
Yeah.
If you're prime, what are you guys? What are y'all doing? I'm staying put. I'm not
going. How long
going.
do you stay put? What are you waiting on? Florida State?
Bigger, possibly. Yeah, you ain't getting Florida State.
Not right now.
What's wrong with Colorado?
I don't like Colorado. It's never really been a winner.
Yes, it has.
Are you kidding me?
Colorado has.
Do you not know who Cordell Stewart is?
Yeah, but I mean, you're talking about that's what I'm saying. You're talking about something that
they
don't really have relevance.
I'm trying to think when it was.
Let me ask you this. Your boy just scored, Pooh, Watkins. But
I can't.
But all right, so Mel Tucker is at Michigan State right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know where he was at before that?
Where?
Colorado.
Right. He didn't do such a good job at Colorado,
but he was only there for like 2 years or a year.
1 year.
Yeah, 1 year, and then he got a big job. Sometimes all you gotta do is take a bigger job and show that what you could do with it, and then another bigger job comes.
That's fair. That's fair.
I don't know.
But we keep saying that Prime is making this move not for himself; he's making it for his coaches.
Exactly. So take the money. Colorado got money.
Yeah,
they got money.
They got a lot of money. We've been helping them out a lot. I'm not laughing. I'm being serious.
Mm-hmm. I feel you. Goddamn, Jalen Hurts is killing me this week.
You must be playing against him in fantasy.
Yeah, he's smashing me, bro.
Trying to see what else before we move on. Got anything else before we move on to altar calls? All right.
Yeah, we ain't gotta talk about that game.
Saints,
today. Nope. Not talking about that at all.
It was some. I do want to say it was some. Not that I ain't not the Saints. It was some other good games though. You had Ravens, Jaguars came down to a last second score and
Cincinnati
and a 2-point conversion, and then you had somebody else did it too. Chargers and whoever the Chargers, Eric Cardinals, last second touchdown, 2-point conversion.
Cincinnati, who was it? Cincinnati lost that game at the end. I mean, they won that game because of the defensive lineman running into the freaking snapper. That's crazy.
Yeah. Then you had a walk-off.
Yeah.
You had a walk-off, 86-yard walk-off at that. Jacobs from Vegas took that thing to the house in overtime, ended it. So, yeah, there's some good games today. It was some good games today. Dennis Allen wasn't a part of any of them. All right. Raiders versus Seattle. That's what.
Yeah, I about to say you just mentioned it when Julian brought it up. That was the craziest play of the game of the day to me.
Yeah.
What was that?
He got a little.
I got you.
My son over here cutting up, man.
I got you. We all been through it.
All right. All right. We ready?
Yeah, I'll go first.
All right.
Keep it simple.
All right, here we go.
Ryan Day, please come to the front of the church. All right. So, guys, look, I'm gonna start out by giving Ryan Day his flowers. Okay. Ryan Day is 45-5 in 4 years at Ohio State. He has 2 Big Ten titles, 2 college football playoff appearances, with 1 win. Has won Big Ten Coach of the Year. He's averaging over 11 wins a season at Ohio State. And it's crazy that fans at Ohio State and players want him fired. Some of you might ask, why do they want him fired? Well, for one, you're watching that game yesterday. He had a moment in the third quarter, 6 minutes and 36 seconds to go in the third quarter. Michigan was up 24. Ohio State down 4 points. I'm sorry, Michigan 24, Ohio State 20. You get the gist, right? It was 4th and 6. He chose not to go for it. Guys, if you remember in the past, I brought up how Ryan Day, during the year of our Lord and Savior Joe Burrow 2019 football season, he did not want to play LSU. He did not. He was scared. He was politicking for Ohio State to be number 1. If y'all can remember, Coach Orgeron was like, we don't care. Put us 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't care. We'll play anybody. So I say all that to say this. Ryan Day has a 2-3 record against top 5 opponents. He has a point differential of -24. Ryan Day can't win the big game. He also calls the plays for Ohio State. If you watch that game yesterday, you watch how the play calling was made. It was terrible. Ohio State clearly had the advantage on the outside. Ryan Day called screens. He never made adjustments. He should have won that game yesterday. I was not impressed with him. In Ohio State right now, they probably might want to burn his house down. I'm not saying they should do that. That's crazy. And I understand that he's 45-5 right now. But can he win the big one? He's had way too much talent. Way too much talent to be this mediocre.
The views and opinions expressed in the Golden Boot podcast are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Golden Boot podcast as a whole.
I just want to say we do not condone burning down anybody's house.
I said I don't condone that.
Yeah, I don't know what you on, man, but
I don't even know why that was.
Go ahead, Pooh.
Go look at Twitter.
All right. So here we go, man. We all know that late in the season, Brian Harsin was fired from Auburn, and a hot name came up, Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin's name has popped up in coaching searches everywhere, in several different times. Lane Kiffin's name popped up again, and this time, it looked like this one was going to happen. Lane was getting his wish. He was finally going to get out of Oxford. He was going to be happy. It was going to happen. But something else, something popped up in the way. Sorry about that. You had a reporter, John Sokoloff, who broke the story on November 21st, saying that Ole Miss head coach Lane Kiffin plans to step down as Rebels coach Friday and head to Auburn to become the Tigers' new head coach, according to sources. Then he said sources say that the Tigers haven't officially offered the job to anyone yet, so Lane to Auburn is happening. Story soon. Well, Lane Kiffin wasn't happy with that because that put a big monkey wrench in his plans. Then he had to go to explain to his players that he wasn't leaving. He had to talk to boosters. He had to talk to all these people. And it looked like that is what forced Auburn to move on to what we now looks to be Hugh Freeze. Lane Kiffin, I think this is on you, though. You could have easily just refuted this report and let it go. Now, John, Sokoloff does share some, he shares some blame in this. But Lane, you could have just, refuted this. You went on a tirade and you made this over and over, had memes and everything else going, and it got bad. It got really bad. And everybody thought you were the same Lane Kiffin that we've been saying, the immature coach who has all these antics that can't win a big game, can't even win your Egg Bowl. And now you're expected, to stay in Oxford. So, hey, this is on you. Do better.
You got a nice raise to stay in Oxford, though. But, you got my...
I do. I just
go ahead, play that for me, brother. So if you don't know, that is the statue of former Washington. He played when they were the Redskins, but former Washington Commanders safety Sean Taylor. The Commanders, my bad, have been promoting this statue honoring their former football player Sean Taylor all week. They, making a big deal out of it because they're going to commemorate one of their players whose life was taken tragically too soon. And they showed up with this. That what you saw was a Nike store mannequin that had a Sean Taylor jersey from the wrong era and some soccer cleats on it, and they said that was a statue. If you know Sean Taylor, you know that he had his face mask taped up in the same, specific way every time. They could have at least put that kind of detail into it. They could have at least gave him an actual statue and not a mannequin with wire elbows and knees and arms. Like that was a terrible attempt by the Washington franchise to honor one of their, most memorable and most favorite to a lot of people players that ever played for that franchise. I think it's a bad taste. And if you look at some statues that franchises have for Super Bowl players, the Philly special statue in Philadelphia looks a million times better than that sad attempt that what Washington gave to Sean Taylor. I feel bad for Sean Taylor's family that they had to witness such a sad attempt of honoring their family member. Rest in peace, Sean Taylor.
Hey, I hold on, give me 1 second, pull something up. I think we got this wrong. Shiloh Sanders just put up who he thinks should be in the top 4 of the college football playoff. He say it's simple, just put the 4 undefeated teams. So yeah, that's what he say.
Hey, I love the confidence, man. Go for it.
Yeah. So it'd be Georgia versus Jackson State. Jackson State by 3. And it looks so disgusting. Well, it don't matter. They ain't gonna be undefeated after this weekend. Here we go.
They are.
What? Georgia?
Yeah, Georgia now.
Oh, Georgia. I thought you were talking about Jackson State.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about that also, because I was finna be like, sir.
Bring me that watermelon.
So I just got a question though. Why you wouldn't put Grand Cane in? They undefeated.
Who? Grand
Cane. Since we just putting in our undefeated teams, they undefeated.
I don't even know what they is.
Exactly.
They got a online school, don't it? Grand King University.
They're a D2 school. I was just being missed.
Don't be disrespectful, boo.
They do got an online school, Grand King University.
They probably do.
Yeah, they probably do.
GCU? Is that not it? Are they purple?
IDC College.
Boy, stop. Little Romeo is.
No, I'm just saying. Sacramento State undefeated. I think they should get in over Jackson State.
Hey, man.
Well, I don't know the
What's the who number one in the polls?
I'm just say this. Playoff committee said
who number one in the polls, man?
The playoff committee said they ain't got a strong enough resume. They strength of schedule ain't strong enough.
Jackson State.
No,
because they showed Jackson State ain't played nobody. Don't give me over here, man. You're gonna have all these Jackson State people in my DMs.
They ain't gonna
they don't watch canceled from having HBCU.
No, they don't watch this show. Oh, I take that back. Me at Mike over here. He gonna go tell everybody.
He probably agree with me though.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will be back on Wednesday with HBCU Hour. Then we'll be back on Thursday to preview the Georgia game. Hopefully we'll have some more insight and everything by then. Fellas, you got anything?
I'm out. 5 dinner salad. That's all I got.
I second that. I agree.
That's all I got.
All right, like that, we at.
Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe on Twitter at Golden Boot. On Instagram at Golden Boot. On YouTube at The Golden Boot Pod. On Facebook at The Golden Boot Pod.
Golden Boot!